I've decided to concentrate on ducks and waterfowl in my quest to photograph all the birds of Arizona. I'd heard there were Common Mergansers and Buffleheads at Arthur Park and went up to photograph them. But I wasn't that successful because the birds were so far away I couldn't get close enough to get a photograph that I could blow up large enough to go into the book. In the book, I'm going to need photographs which can be blown up to the size of 9 by 12. And it has to be at 300 pixels per inch, a high resolution. So I need to get close to the birds. So I went up to Arthur Park again, but this time I had a plan. I made my second trip to Arthur Park, but this time I knew what to expect and I went prepared. I knew that the birds would go to the middle of the pond once they saw any movement on the banks, just as you can see in this photo. I set up a hide by attaching a camouflage net to some reeds on the bank. I knew I'd have to wait a while, so I took along a lawn chair so that I could be comfortable while waiting. My camera was low enough so that I wouldn't be looking down on the ducks. I was almost at water level. Here's a bird's eye view of my improvised hide. There was a large group of Common Mergansers, one of my target birds. They were fairly far away and were quite active. They were too far away to be able to photograph an individual. There was also a group of Buffleheads, males and females out there, another of my target birds. I was hoping it wouldn't take too long for them to come to my part of the pond. The first duck to come close was a northern shoveler. This male went by, totally unaware of my presence, and I was just 6 feet away from him. Then a female ruddy duck passed by in the other direction. I was hoping that it wouldn't be too long before the Mergansers made their way to my part of the pond, as it seems the hide was working. At last, the whole group of Mergansers were in shooting distance, and they stayed a while. This female got particularly close. I was hoping to get some shots of them doing something more interesting than just paddling in the water, and I wasn't disappointed. This beauty jumped up onto a float, making a nice image. Then I got the shot I was hoping for. She's not about to fly. I think she's just drying out her wings. I think this is a shot for the book, and this is how it would look on a book page. This is a shot of a male Common Merganser, but I don't think it's strong enough to use in the book. He's not doing anything interesting, and because of his jet black head, there's no detail in this kind of lighting. On the other hand, this photo of a male Bufflehead may be a candidate for the book, although he wasn't as close as I'd like. There's still some detail and colour in his head. This shows how this photo would appear in the book. I then went on to the south pond. As you can see, it's quite open and there's no good place to set up a hide. Besides, there were no target birds in this pond other than some Buffleheads. But I did get some shots of other birds while I was there. Here's a black phoebe and its cousin, a Say's phoebe. a belted kingfisher was fishing at the pond. And there were many vermilion flycatchers. If this one had turned its head towards the camera, it could have been a candidate for the book. Here's the list of birds that I'm concentrating on in my first group. As you can see, I've already erased the bufflehead and the common merganser. The Mexican duck and gadwall should be easy to find, but I have difficulty identifying them as they both look similar to the female mallard, which are very abundant. I've heard that there are hooded mergansers at Agua Caliente Park in Tucson, so I'm planning a trip there. Please subscribe to the channel and see if I'm successful at Agua Caliente Park in the next video. One more thing. In Britain, this is called a hide. In America, it's called a blind. I still call it a hide, the same as I still say tomato and not tomato, and rubbish and not garbage. Bye.